DayZ patch 0.55 has been one of the biggest game-changing patches the game has ever faced. Central loot economy is in, zombie aggro and damage has been changed, and finding loot and food has been changed and has caused mixed opinions in the DayZ community. Today, I'm going to be talking about how I changed my playstyle and how to survive DayZ with these recent changes. First off, forget everything you once knew about looting gear in DayZ. No longer can you solely rely on military bases for all your looting needs. Instead, the focus is now changed on the areas of the map that are not nearly explored as often. All this comes from the assumption that you play on medium to high populated servers. Prior to patch 0.55, you would spawn in on the coast and quickly head to the nearest coastal town for some quick loot, supplies, and even a weapon. Now this is nearly impossible. You might get lucky and catch a rare loot respawn on the coast, but even still, finding food can be challenging. I've taken a lot of time to explore the coastal cities on multiple servers. I found that I was able to find basic cosmetics, backpacks, but no weapons or food. For all you coastal heroes, it's time to explore Chernarus to its fullest. In order to survive, you must go inland. Sure, you can spend time picking apples on the coast, but that'll only get you so far. Plus, it's incredibly time consuming, boring, and puts you in significant danger from the zombies and other players. For players spawning on the east coast, you have two choices. You can either head directly east to loot Delina, which has a police station, Polana, which has a grocery store and pub, and Gorka, which also has a police station and barns and lots of different loot locations. Or, alternatively, you can head directly north to Novo and Severograd. That should get you started on the east coast. Also remember to loot outhouses and areas you may previously thought unlootable. Hunting stands are also a great place to check. For players spawning on the south shore, head immediately north to Nades, Mogilevka, or Vishnoi. And if you're in Electro, Pust is a good spot and alternative, and then head right up to Mogilevka. At this point, you should be ready to head to Novi and Stary Sobor. Both locations are great points and often contain loot that is usually unexplored. There's high traffic in the area, but there's also a lot of hidden loot spawns, outhouses, garages to loot through. I found various weapons inside barns this patch as well, so make sure you turn over every stone, nook, and cranny. If you're still struggling to find food at this point, you're probably going to have to take a time out and eat some apples. It's kind of unavoidable. But you have many options ahead of you. You can either head over to Voreznik and Vybor, Northwest Airfield and Grishino, Zelenogorsk and Polkovo, or head straight north to Severograd and Novoya Petrovka. Quick side note here, I don't speak Russian, I don't know how to pronounce Russian words. If I fucked anything up, then just be lenient on me. Next is zombies. They're now extremely dangerous and need to be dealt with caution. Although they don't have as much damage with each hit, or cause bleeding as often, they hit much faster and are hard to avoid. You can no longer strafe around them like you used to, you'll just take hits. The most dangerous aspect, though, of the new zombies is the vastly unknown spinal condition, which has been in the game for a while, but with this new patch is really starting to take a lot of players out. Your DayZ character can only take roughly 150 direct hits from a zombie. When this counter hits 0, you die instantly regardless of where your health levels are at. You can be completely healthy, your screen looking completely saturated, one hit from a zombie, and you're dead. Previously, it was rare for someone to die from spinal condition as zombies could be evaded easily, they hit really slow, and they could easily be killed. Now you'll take roughly 2 to 5 hits each zombie you face, only allowing you to encounter 30 zombies before your character bites the bullet. There's been a lot of experienced DayZ commentators and players out there talking about vitamins, and although it is still quite unknown what vitamins will actually do for you, there are people out there who say if you do take vitamins, it slows the amount of damage that zombies do to your spinal condition counter, and even slightly repairs it. But I haven't seen an official test yet to confirm this theory. Best take them anyway, as they should help to prevent cholera. Speaking of cholera, it's in the game now, and it can be attained by drinking dirty water around the map. Players with high blood levels shouldn't fear cholera, as your white blood cells will fight them off. However, desperate low blood players should take caution and only drink from wells and bottles. The lower the blood, the easier it is to catch. Hey, you know your friend who sucks at driving in DayZ, like me? It's now time to put them in the back seat. Players will now take damage when they crash at high speeds, even ruining some of your supplies. When the V3S is damaged, you can still drive it, but the gas will start to drain significantly. If you see a V3S zooming by, try shooting at its gas tank and track that sucker down. They'll soon run out of gas. 308 ammo has also been added for the Longhorn and double rifle. 7.62 by 51 has now been replaced by 7.62 by 54 MR. From high demand from all you gun nuts out there, yes, they heard you. Mosins don't shoot 7.60 by 51. We get it. You're right. Lastly, for all you survivors out there, if you're really struggling to get off the coast and search for food, it seems that apples have been buffed significantly. Although it is very time consuming, you can survive off apples alone now. Set aside a good 15 to 20 minutes and search through unless you're lucky. And like I mentioned before, it isn't ideal, it is dangerous, it opens you up, it makes you very vulnerable from zombies and other players. If you're just standing there picking apples all day, players will be running past you at some point in time, so just keep that in mind. But it is possible, I've done it multiple times, just surviving completely off apples. So if you take my looting suggestions and my travel suggestions earlier in this video, and you are unable to find food, there's usually an apple orchard in nearly every single little town, so use it. Make sure that you keep track of where the wells are to keep your thirst up if you don't have any containers to hold it. And yeah, surviving is much more difficult now, but I think we can all agree it's for the better. DayZ isn't a player versus player game, although it is extremely fun to player versus player in DayZ. It's a survivor game at its core, and you're going to start to see more mechanics come out to make it more intense to survive this game for long periods of time. Alright survivors, I hope you guys found this video informative and helpful. For all you out there in the wasteland, my name is DeadlySlob. Be sure to let me know what you think of .55 in the comments below. Like this video and share around with your fellow survivors, and subscribe for more DayZ.